Close your eyes now and let yourself sink deeper into comfort. Tonight we journey to a castle where twilight never quite fades, where lanterns glow like captured stars, and where 12 gentle princesses move through halls as soft as whispered dreams. This is not a tale of mystery or urgency, but one of quiet wonder and shared serenity. Breathe slowly. Let each breath carry you further from the day's concerns and closer to this peaceful realm where time moves like honey through silver spoons. The castle stands against an amber sky, its towers reaching toward the first stars of evening. Windows flicker with candlelight that never grows harsh, only warm and welcoming. The stones themselves seem to hold the day's last sunshine, radiating a gentle heat that soothes all who walk these corridors. Here, in this place, between waking and dreaming, 12 princesses live in harmonious rhythm, their days flowing like water over smooth pebbles. Each princess moves with the grace of swans on still water. Their gowns whisper secrets to the marble floors, soft pastels that catch the lantern light and hold it tenderly. Rose and lavender, pearl and sage green, colours that speak of dawn mist and evening clouds. Their voices, when they speak, are like wind chimes touched by the gentlest breeze, creating melodies that linger in the air long after words have faded. Let your shoulders drop. Feel the tension melting away like snow in spring sunshine. The eldest princess, Celeste, carries herself with the quiet dignity of someone who has learned that true strength lies in gentleness. Her dark hair catches the light as she moves through the corridors, checking that each lantern burns steadily, that each tapestry hangs in perfect harmony with its neighbours. She speaks in measured tones that calm rather than command, her words chosen like flowers for a bouquet, each one perfect in its place. Behind her, her 11 sisters follow in a procession that seems choreographed by starlight itself. Luna, with her silver blonde hair that mirrors moonbeams, moves with steps so light they barely disturb the silence. Aurora brings warmth wherever she goes, her copper curls catching the candlelight and reflecting it back in gentle waves. Stella traces patterns in the air with her fingertips as she walks, as if conducting an invisible orchestra that plays only the softest lullabies. The castle breathes around them, its walls expanding and contracting with the rhythm of an enormous heart at rest. Tapestries depicting peaceful gardens sway slightly in the warm air that circulates through these ancient halls. The marble floors gleam like calm water, reflecting the lantern light in pools of golden warmth that seem to pulse, gently matching the cadence of your own peaceful breathing. Feel your eyes grow heavy. Let them close completely if they haven't already, and see this castle with your inner sight. great hall, a fire burns low in the enormous hearth, its flames dancing in slow motion, casting shadows that move like sleepy dancers across the walls. The 12 princesses gather here each evening as twilight deepens, their day's gentle activities drawing to a close like a book whose final chapter speaks only of contentment and peace. They sit in chairs upholstered in velvet, the colour of deep water, their forms graceful even in repose. Some embroider by the firelight, their needles moving in meditative rhythm, creating gardens of silk thread that bloom eternal on linen canvases. Others read from books bound in soft leather, their pages whispering secrets of far-off lands where streams run silver and trees bear fruit that tastes of starlight. The youngest princess, Seraphina, curls in a window seat where moonlight streams through diamond-paned glass. She watches the night sky with eyes that reflect the stars, her small hands folded in her lap like sleeping birds. Her voice, when she speaks, carries the music of wind through distant forests, and when she laughs, it sounds like water over stones. In a hidden brook, rest in the rhythm of your breath. Let it carry you deeper into this world of perpetual twilight and gentle wonder. As the fire settles lower in the grate, the princesses begin their evening ritual. It is not hurried or ceremonial, but flows with the natural ease of water finding its course. They rise from their chairs like flowers turning toward the sun, their movements synchronized, not by planning, but by the shared rhythm of hearts that beat in harmony. Celeste lights a candle from the dying fire, its flames steady and sure. She passes this light to Luna, who lights her own candle and passes the flame onward. Soon, all 12 sisters hold candles that flicker in unison, their combined light creating a warm glow that seems to pulse with life itself. The shadows dance gently on the walls, creating patterns that shift and flow like silk scarves in a summer breeze. They move from the great hall in single file, their candles creating a river of light that flows through corridors lined with portraits of ancestors who seem to nod approvingly from their gilded frames. The castle around them settles into its evening rhythm, walls cooling from the day's warmth, stones sighing contentedly as they release the stored sunshine of afternoon hours. Imagine candlelight on polished floors. See how the warm glow transformed everything it touches into something precious and peaceful. Their destination is the tower room where they sleep, but their journey there is not direct. They take the long way, through galleries where suits of armour stand sentinel, their metal surfaces gleaming softly in the candlelight. These guardian figures seem friendly rather than forbidding, like old friends keeping watch over dreams. Last, princesses pause before each one, whispering words of gratitude for protection, through another day of peace, through archways draped with ivy that grows eternal in this twilight realm, past windows where night blooming jasmine releases its perfume into the warm air. The fragrance follows them like an invisible companion, sweet but never overwhelming, a reminder that beauty need not announce itself with fanfare, but can simply exist, waiting to be noticed by those who move slowly enough to appreciate its presence. Corridor they walk is lined with paintings of moonlit gardens, where silver fountains play eternal songs, and peacocks display plumage that captures starlight in every feather. The princess's reflections move across the polished surfaces of these artworks, becoming part of the depicted scenes, their real forms blending seamlessly with the painted dreams. As they climb the spiral staircase that leads to their tower sanctuary, their footsteps create a rhythm like gentle rain on a slate roof. Each step is placed with careful consideration, not from any fear of making noise, but from a deep appreciation for the music that can be found in the simplest movements when they are performed with mindfulness and grace. Let the quiet carry you. Feel yourself moving with them through these halls where time has no urgency and peace is the only law. The staircase curves upward like a shell, its stone steps worn smooth by countless gentle passages. Lanterns hang at regular intervals there, light creating circles of warmth that overlap and blend, ensuring that no shadow falls heavy or threatening. The princess's gowns brush against the curved walls with sounds like whispered prayers, their fabric catching briefly on the rough stone before flowing free again. At the top of the stairs, they pause before the heavy oak door that guards their chamber. The wood is carved with patterns of intertwining roses and silver leaves, each detail crafted with such love that the door itself seems to breathe with life. Celeste places her hand on the iron handle, worn smooth by generations of gentle touch, and turns it with the care one might use when opening a jewel box that contains the most precious treasures. The door swings open on hinges that make no sound, revealing the chamber beyond like a secret being whispered to a trusted friend. This is their sanctuary, a circular room that occupies the entire top floor of the western tower. 12 beds arranged in perfect symmetry around the walls, each draped in canopies that seem woven from moonbeams and morning mist. Float like a leaf on calm water. Let yourself drift into this space where rest is sacred and dreams are gentle guardians. The windows that ring the chamber are tall and narrow, their glass so clear it seems like captured air. Through them, the night sky reveals its treasures, stars that pulse with the rhythm of sleeping hearts, a moon that watches over the castle with the tender attention of a loving parent. The starlight that enters through these windows carries no chill, only the soft silver illumination that makes everything it touches seem blessed and peaceful. In the centre of the room stands a fountain unlike any found in waking worlds. No water flows from its carved stone basin, but instead a gentle stream of light that moves like liquid starlight, creating soft sounds that are part music and part whisper. The princesses have arranged fresh flowers around its base, night blooming cereus and moonflowers that open only in darkness, their petals pale as pearl and just as luminous. Each princess moves to her own bed with the natural ease of birds returning to familiar nests. They place their candles in holders carved from crystal that breaks their flames into 1,000 tiny rainbows, filling the chamber with light that dances like joy made visible. The beds themselves seem to welcome their approach, the linens stirring slightly as if awakening to embrace familiar forms. Feel the earth holding you. Sense how completely supported you are, how deeply you can rest when surrounded by such perfect peace. Their nighttime preparations are performed with the same grace that marks all their movements. Hair is brushed with silver combs that sing soft melodies when drawn through the silken strands. Gowns are changed for night dresses that flow like water-made fabric, each one unique in its beauty yet harmonious with all the others. They move around each other in patterns that seem rehearsed, but are actually just the natural flow of sisters who have shared space and time for so long that they anticipate each other's needs without thought. The youngest, Seraphina, sits at her window brushing her hair while humming a melody that has no words but carries the essence of lullabies from across all times and places. Her voice weaves through the chamber like a golden thread, binding the space together in harmony that makes the very air seem to pulse with contentment. As the princesses settle into their beds, drawing covers that feel like captured clouds around their shoulders, the chamber fills with the soft sounds of preparation for sleep. Pages turning as someone reads a final poem from a leather-bound book, the gentle rustle of linens being arranged for comfort, whispered words of affection exchanged between sisters, each voice carrying love like a tangible gift passed from heart to heart. But tonight, as on every night in this castle where mystery dwells in harmony with peace, something magical awaits for these 12 gentle souls, blessed with grace and moving through their days like dancers in a dream. Share a secret that adds wonder to their already blessed existence. The secret is not one of shame or fear, but of joy so pure and perfect that it must be protected like a flame from wind. Each night after the castle sleeps and only the stars keep watch, the 12 princesses discover a path that leads to enchantment itself, a place where their love of music and movement can find expression in ways that the waking world for all its beauty cannot contain. Rest in the rhythm of your breath. Feel yourself being drawn into their secret world where wonder never ends and peace reigns eternal. As the last candle is extinguished and darkness claims the chamber, the 12 princesses lie in their beds with eyes that sparkle like captured starlight. They listen to the castle settling around them, to the whisper of wind through the ivy outside their windows, to the distant sound of night birds calling to each other across the moonlit gardens below. And in that perfect darkness, where peace reigns supreme and love flows like an endless river between 12 hearts that beat in harmony, the magic begins to stir, not with drama or suddenness, but with the gentle inevitability of dawn following night, of flowers opening to greet the sun, of all beautiful things revealing themselves to those who wait with patience and open hearts. Tonight, dear listener, you will journey with them into that secret realm where dancing is prayer and music is the language of the soul. Close your eyes now and let the magic carry you forward into dreams where every step is graceful and every moment is touched by wonder. Breathe slowly. Let yourself sink deeper into the rhythm of this gentle tale as we follow the 12 princesses through their nightly transformation from day dwellers to creatures of moonlit magic. The castle around them pulses with the slow heartbeat of ancient stones and sleeping memories. As the princesses lie in their beds, the very walls seem to shimmer with anticipation, as if the building itself knows what wonders await and trembles with the joy of keeping such beautiful secrets. The air grows warm and honey thick, carrying scents of jasmine and roses that bloom eternal in gardens beyond the touch of frost or time. Celeste, the eldest, is the first to rise. Her movement is so fluid, it seems she simply flows from lying to standing. Her nightdress settling around her like water finding its level. She pads barefoot across the marble floor, her steps making no sound but creating ripples in the silence that spread outward like circles on a still pond. At a tapestry that hangs between two windows, she pauses and places her palm against the woven fabric, feeling for something that only she can sense. The tapestry depicts a moonlit forest where silver trees bend toward a path that seems to lead beyond the edge of the weaving itself. As Celeste's hand finds the exact center of this painted path, the fabric grows warm beneath her touch and begins to glow with light that comes from within the threads themselves. The trees in the tapestry seem to sway in a breeze that doesn't exist, and the path begins to shimmer as if wet with dew that catches starlight. Let your shoulders drop. Feel the tension melting away as you watch this gentle magic unfold without haste or drama. One by one, her sisters rise and join her, each movement flowing flowing into the next, like notes in a song that has no beginning and needs no end. Luna approaches, with hair that streams behind her like liquid moonlight, her bare feet making no sound on the cool marble. Aurora brings warmth wherever she steps, as if her very presence calls forth the memory of summer afternoons and lazy rivers flowing through the wildflower meadows. Stella traces symbols in the air as she walks, her fingers drawing patterns that hang, visible for just a moment before fading like breath on cold glass. Each symbol glows briefly with soft light that speaks of music and mathematics, of the hidden geometry that underlies all beautiful things. Iris follows, her violet eyes reflecting depths that seem to hold entire universes, each one peaceful and filled with light. The other sisters form a circle around the tapestry, their night dresses flowing like water in a gentle current. They hold hands in a chain of warmth and connection, each sister's fingers intertwined with her neighbours in a pattern that has been performed so many times it has become as natural as breathing. Their faces glow with anticipation that carries no urgency, only the quiet joy of those who know that wonder awaits, and that wonder is patient with those who approach it with reverence. As their circle completes itself, the tapestry begins to part down the centre of the painted path, revealing not the stone wall behind it, but an opening that leads into soft darkness, lit by points of light that pulse like distant stars. Cool air flows from this opening, carrying scents of night-blooming flowers and the sound of water moving over smooth stones somewhere in the peaceful distance. Feel your eyes grow heavy. Let them close completely as you prepare to follow the princesses through this doorway between worlds. The passageway beyond the tapestry is lined with smooth stone that feels warm to the touch, as if heated by some inner fire that burns eternal and gentle. Lanterns hang from iron brackets set into the walls at regular intervals, each one burning with flame that never flickers or dims. The light they cast is golden and soft, creating pools of warmth that overlap and flow together, ensuring that no step is taken in darkness or uncertainty. The ceiling curves overhead like the inside of a shell, its surface decorated with mosaics that tell wordless stories of kindness and joy. Tiny pieces of coloured glass and precious stones create images that shift and change as the lantern light moves across them. Now a garden where silver butterflies dance among pearl flowers. Now a sky where golden birds write messages in the air with their graceful flight patterns. The princesses move through this corridor single file, Celeste leading with the sure steps of one who has walked this path countless times, but never lost her sense of wonder at its beauty. Each sister follows in perfect trust, their bare feet finding the smooth places on the stone floor that have been worn by countless gentle patterns night dresses brush against the walls with sounds like whispered secrets, the fabric catching briefly on the rough stone before flowing free again. Rest in the rhythm of your breath. Feel yourself walking with them through this passage that exists between sleeping and waking, between the known world and the realm of gentle dreams. Luna pauses to touch one of the lanterns as she passes, her fingers trailing across the warm metal of its base. The flame responds to her touch by brightening slightly, sending cascades of golden light across the mosaics overhead. For a moment, the stone butterflies seem to flutter their wings, and the pearl flowers open wider to release perfume that has no earthly equivalent but speaks of peace and contentment to all who breathe it. Aurora stops to examine a section of mosaic where golden horses run through fields of emerald grass beneath a sky made of sapphires, so perfectly cut they seem to hold pieces of actual heaven. As she watches, the horses complete their eternal circuit and begin again, their hooves making no sound but creating ripples of light that spread across the ceiling like water disturbed by gentle rain. The corridor curves gently downward, following the natural contours of the castle's ancient foundations. The stone beneath their feet grows smoother with each step, polished by time and countless gentle footfalls, until it gleams like black water under the lantern light. The air grows cooler but never cold, carrying hints of the vast spaces that lie ahead, chambers carved from living rock and filled with wonders that exist only in this realm between dreams and waking. Imagine candlelight on polished floors. See how the warm glow transforms everything it touches into something precious and peaceful. Stella begins to hum as she walks, her voice weaving a melody that has no words but carries the essence of every lullaby ever sung to ease a troubled heart or guide a weary soul toward rest. The sound echoes off the curved walls and comes back, transformed, harmonizing with itself to create music that seems to rise from the very stones around them. Her sisters pick up the melody, each voice finding its own part in the wordless song that becomes their accompaniment as they continue their gentle descent. The lanterns they pass begin to pulse in rhythm with their singing, as if the very light that fills this place responds to the music of human voices raised in harmony. The mosaics overhead shimmer and dance, telling new stories with each verse of the melody that flows from the princess's lips like liquid gold poured from vessels of crystal and starlight. As they walk, the walls around them begin to change, the smooth stone giving way to something that feels more like condensed starlight than any earthly material. The surface gleams with inner light that shifts through colours that have no names in the waking world. Shades of hope and contentment, hues of peace and gentle joy. When the princesses brush against these walls with their fingertips, waves of light spread outward from the points of contact, creating patterns that pulse and flow like living tapestries woven from the essence of happiness itself. The corridor branches ahead, dividing into 3 paths that curve away into soft darkness lit by those same gentle stars. But Celeste never hesitates, leading her sisters to the centre path with the certainty of one who has memorised every turn and knows that each step brings them closer to the wonder that awaits. Her faith is shared by all who follow, their trust in her guidance absolute, and their joy in the journey unconditional. Let the quiet carry you. Feel yourself being drawn deeper into this world where magic and peace exist in perfect harmony. The scent of night blooming jasmine grows stronger as they continue their descent, mixing with other fragrances that speak of gardens where every flower blooms eternal and every tree bears fruit that tastes of starlight and dreams. Water can be heard somewhere ahead, not the crash of waterfalls or the rush of rivers, but the gentle sound of streams flowing over smooth stones, of fountains playing quiet songs that blend perfectly with the melody still flowing from the princesses' lips. The stone beneath their feet becomes even smoother, taking on a mirror-like quality that reflects their forms as they pass. But these reflections seem to move with independent grace, showing not just the princesses as they are, but as they might be in a world where every dream comes true and every heart finds its perfect expression. The reflected figures dance slightly ahead of their physical forms, leading them forward with gestures of welcome and invitation that speak of wonders yet to be revealed. As the corridor begins to level out, the air around them fills with the marb sound of distant music, not the melody they sing, but something deeper and more complex, as if an entire orchestra plays somewhere far ahead, their instruments crafted from materials that exist only in the realm of dreams, harps that sound like crystallized laughter, flutes that carry the voices of morning birds, drums that beat with the rhythm of contented hearts, all blending together in a symphony that makes the very air dance with joy. The lanterns along the walls begin to burn brighter as they approach what seems to be the end of the corridor, their flames reaching upward like golden flowers seeking the sun. The light they cast takes on new qualities, becoming more silver than gold, more like captured moonlight than any earthly fire. In this transformed illumination, the princesses themselves seem to glow, their night dresses flowing around them like liquid starlight, their hair catching and holding the silver radiance until each sister becomes a source of light herself. Float like a leaf on calm water. Let yourself drift toward the wonder that awaits at the end of this gentle journey through the castle's secret heart. Ahead, the corridor opens vast chamber carved from living rock, its ceiling lost in shadows that pulse with their own gentle light. Crystals embedded in the stone walls catch and multiply the lantern light, creating a galaxy of tiny stars that seem to breathe with life. The air here is warm and welcoming, carrying scents of flowers that bloom only in moonlight, and the sound of water flowing somewhere in the peaceful distance. But this chamber is only the beginning, the antechamber to the true wonder that lies beyond. For at the far end of this space, another passageway opens, and from it flows light that is more beautiful than anything the waking world has ever seen. It is the light of pure possibility, of dreams given form and wonder made manifest. It calls to the princesses with the voice of every beautiful thing they have ever imagined, promising delights that exist beyond the reach of ordinary experience. Feel the earth holding you. Sense how completely supported you are as we follow the 12 princesses into the chamber where starlight has been given form, and wonder waits with infinite patience. The vast chamber spreads before them like a cathedral carved from crystal and dreams. The ceiling soars high above, disappearing into shadows that move with the slow grace of sleeping giants. But these shadows hold no fear, only the gentle mystery of night itself, the peaceful darkness that embraces all who seek rest and dreams. Embedded throughout the stone walls, crystals pulse with inner light that seems to breathe in rhythm with the princess's own heartbeats, creating a living constellation that surrounds them with beauty too perfect for the waking world. The floor beneath their bare feet is smooth as still water, its surface reflecting not just their forms, but their inner light, the joy and anticipation that glows within each gentle heart. Their reflections dance and shimmer, sometimes showing them as they are, and sometimes as they might be, in a realm where every movement is graceful and every moment holds the possibility of wonder. Celeste leads them across this chamber with steps that seem to float above the reflective floor. Her sisters follow in their established rhythm, each finding her place in the procession that flows like a river of starlight through the crystalline space. Their night dresses trail behind them, creating patterns of white and silver that ripple and flow like water disturbed by the gentlest breeze. The air around them thrums with music that has no earthly source, not the distant orchestra they heard in the corridor, but something deeper and more fundamental. It is the music of the spheres themselves, the harmony that underlies all creation, the song that planets sing as they dance through the cosmos in their eternal ballet. The princess's own humming blends with this cosmic symphony, their voices becoming part of something infinitely larger and more beautiful than any single melody could contain. Let your your shoulders drop. Feel the music flowing through you as you move with them toward the heart of this underground wonder. At the far end of the chamber, where the light flows like a river of liquid starlight, they find what they have come seeking. A stairway descends into the illuminated depths, its steps carved from some material that seems to be made of crystallized moonlight itself. Each step glows with inner radiance, creating a pathway that descends not into darkness, but into ever greater luminosity, as if they are walking down into the heart of a star that burns with cold fire and gentle warmth. The stairway is wide, enough for all 12 sisters to descend side by side, and this is how they choose to approach it. They form a line across the top step, hands linked in a chain of connection and shared purpose. For a moment, they pause there, looking down into the radiant depths that await them. Their faces glow with anticipation that carries no urgency, only the quiet joy of those who know that each step will bring new wonders, and that wonder itself is patient with those who approach it with reverence and open hearts. The handrails of the stairway are carved from what appears to be living silver, their surfaces warm to the touch and flowing with patterns that shift and change as the princess's hands trail along them. These patterns tell wordless stories of joy and celebration, of dances performed under star-filled skies, and songs sung by voices that know no sorrow. The silver responds to their touch by brightening slightly, creating waves of light that flow along the handrails like liquid mercury made luminous. As they begin their descent, their bare feet find the steps warm and welcoming. Each step seems to yield slightly under their weight, not like stone, but like something alive and responsive, something that knows the precious cargo it carries and adjusts itself to provide perfect comfort and support. The sound of their footsteps creates a rhythm like gentle rain on water, each note blending with the next to form a percussion that becomes part of the cosmic symphony surrounding them. Breathe slowly, let each breath carry you deeper into this world where every sense is filled with beauty and every moment holds the promise of gentle wonder. The walls that line the stairway are covered in mosaics that make those in the corridor above seem simple by comparison. Here, the tiny pieces of coloured stone and glass and crystal have been arranged to create scenes that move and change as the light from the stairs plays across them. Gardens bloom and fade and bloom again in endless cycles of renewal. Birds take flight and land and take flight again, their wings catching light and scattering it in patterns that speak of joy made visible. Luna pauses to touch one of these mosaics, her fingers tracing the outline of a silver butterfly that seems to flutter its wings in response to her caress. itself from the wall and hovers for a moment in the air before her, its wings moving with the slow grace of dreams. She laughs, a sound like water over stones, and the butterfly settles on her shoulder before dissolving back into light that flows across the mosaic to rejoin its eternal dance. Aurora discovers that where her warmth touches the walls, the mosaics glow brighter, their colours becoming more vivid and alive. Flowers in the depicted gardens open wider to reveal hearts of gold and silver. Trees bend their branches as if offering fruit to any who pass. The very stones seem to respond to her presence with gratitude, warming under her influence until they pulse with the rhythm of contentment itself. The stairway curves as it descends, following the natural flow of the earth around them. The light grows brighter with each step, but it is a light that soothes rather than overwhelms. It is the light of peace made visible, of happiness given form, of all the gentle emotions that make life worth living gathered together and transformed into illumination that nourishes the soul as surely as food nourishes the body. Rest in this rhythm of your breath. Feel yourself descending with them into realms where beauty has no limits and wonder is the only law. Stella begins to sing as they walk, her voice weaving a melody that has been passed down through generations of women who knew the secret paths between worlds. The words are in no language spoken in the waking world, but their meaning is clear to all who hear them. They speak of doorways and pathways, of the courage required to step from the known into the unknown, of the trust that leads souls toward it, their deepest dreams and highest aspirations. Her sisters join their voices to hers, each finding her own part in the ancient song. The melody rises and falls like the breathing of the earth itself, sometimes soaring high with notes that seem to touch the crystalline ceiling far above, sometimes dropping to whispers that blend with the sound of their footsteps on the glowing stairs. The music creates visible waves in the air around them, spirals of colour that dance and play like children who have never known anything but joy. As they sing, the stairs beneath their feet begin to pulse with increasing intensity, the light within them responding to the music by becoming more vibrant and alive. Each step they take sends ripples of illumination flowing outward, creating patterns that spread across the walls and ceiling like auroras dancing in a crystal sky. The mosaics respond by moving faster, their eternal scenes playing out with increased energy while never losing their essential peace and harmony. The air around them grows thick with the scent of flowers that exist only in the realm of dreams. Night blooming cereus that opens to reveal hearts of starlight. Moonflowers that sing lullabies to any who listen. Roses that bloom in colours that have no names in any earthly language, but speak directly to the heart of anyone who sees them. These fragrances like invisible companions, adding another layer to the symphony of sensations that fills this place where magic and peace exist in perfect balance. Imagine candlelight on polished floors, but here the floors themselves are made of light, warm and welcoming beneath their feet. As they continue their descent, the walls around them begin to change, the stone giving way to something that looks like crystallized water or frozen starlight. These new walls are transparent, and through them, the princesses can see into chambers that stretch away into infinity, each one filled with wonders that exist only in this realm between sleeping and waking. Gardens where every flower is a small sun. Libraries where books read themselves to any who listen. Chambers where musical instruments play themselves in harmonies that speak directly to the soul. But these glimpses of further wonders do not distract the princesses from their current journey. They have learned to appreciate beauty without needing to possess it, to acknowledge wonder without losing their focus on the path that lies before them. They continue their descent with the patience of those who know that every good thing comes to those who wait with open hearts and gentle spirits. The stairway begins to level out, the steps becoming wider and lower, transitioning gradually from a staircase to a sloping path that curves gently toward their destination. The light around them reaches its full intensity, a radiance that seems to come from every surface and every particle of air, creating an environment where shadows become impossible and every detail is revealed in perfect, gentle clarity. Let the quiet carry you. Feel yourself approaching the heart of this underground realm where the princess's greatest joy awaits. Ahead, the path opens into a vast cavern that defies all earthly understanding. The ceiling arches high overhead, its surface covered with constellations that mirror the night sky above the castle, but burn with light that holds more warmth and comfort than any earthly star. The floor spreads out before them like a mirror made of still water, its surface perfectly calm and infinitely deep, reflecting not just the light from above, but the hopes and dreams of all who look into its peaceful depths. And at the centre of this cavern, floating on the mirror surface of the water, a boat waits. It is carved from a single piece of crystal, so clear it seems made of crystallized air, its form graceful as a swan and luminous as captured moonlight. Silver cushions line its interior, and at its brow a lantern burns with flame that casts no shadows, but fills the entire cavern with light that speaks of journey and adventure, of trust and companionship, of all the joys that come to those who dare to step from the familiar shore this still surface as beings of pure light and grace. They remove their night dresses with the same fluid movements that mark all their actions, revealing forms that seem carved from starlight itself. Their skin glows with inner radiance, and their hair streams behind them like liquid moonlight as they prepare to enter the water that will carry them to the next phase of their nightly journey into wonder. Float like a leaf on calm water. Let yourself drift into this magical realm where 12 princesses prepare to cross waters that exist beyond the boundaries of the waking world. The underground lake spreads before them like a mirror made of liquid starlight, its surface so still and perfect that it seems to hold the entire universe in its depths. The water glows with its own inner radiance, creating ripples of silver and gold that move in slow patterns across the cavern floor, painting the crystal walls with waves of gentle light that pulse in rhythm with the breathing of dreams themselves. Celeste is the first to step into the water, her foot breaking the mirror surface with the softest of sounds, like a sigh of contentment made audible. The water is warm as summer rain and welcoming as a mother's embrace, rising around her ankles with a sensation that is part liquid and part light. Where her skin touches the glowing water, new patterns of illumination spread outward in concentric circles, creating mandalas of silver and gold that expand until they reach the distant shores and return transformed, carrying with them the essence of peace and wonder. Her sisters follow one by one, each entry into the sacred water, creating its own unique pattern of light and motion. Luna's presence turns the water silver wherever she touches it, creating streams of liquid moonlight that flow around her form like living silk. Aurora brings warmth that causes tiny flowers of light to bloom on the water's surface, each blossom opening to reveal hearts that pulse with the rhythm of pure joy. The water rises to their waists as they wade toward the crystal boat, but it never feels cold or uncomfortable. Instead, it seems to embrace them with the tenderness of something that recognizes their essential goodness and wishes only to support their journey toward wonder. Small fish made of crystallized light swim around their legs, their forms flickering in and out of visibility like thoughts on the edge of consciousness. Feel your eyes grow heavy. Let them close as you see this scene with your inner sight, feeling the warm water around you as you join the princesses in their gentle approach to the waiting boat. The crystal boat rocks slightly as Celeste places her hands on its translucent edge, but the movement is graceful and welcoming rather than unstable. The crystal responds to her touch by brightening, its inner light pulsing with recognition of a familiar friend. She lifts herself from the water with the fluid motion of someone who has performed this action countless times, her body moving with the natural grace of water itself as she settles onto the silver cushions within. The boat adjusts its position automatically to accommodate her weight, floating deeper in the luminous water, but maintaining perfect balance and stability. The cushions conform to her form, like they were crafted specifically for her comfort, their surface warm and soft as down from birds that nest in clouds. She reaches back to help Luna into the boat, their hands creating small sparks of light where they touch, as if their connection generates its own form of gentle magic. One by one, all 12 sisters enter the crystal vessel, which expands slightly to accommodate each new passenger without ever feeling crowded or unstable. The boat seems to understand its precious cargo and adjusts itself accordingly, its crystal walls curving and flowing to create the perfect environment for its passengers. The silver cushions multiply and rearrange themselves, ensuring that each princess has her own space while maintaining the sense of unity and connection that binds them together. As the last princess, little Seraphina, settles into her place, the boat begins to move without any visible means of propulsion. It glides across the mirror surface of the lake with a motion so smooth it seems more like floating through air than travelling across water. The only sound is the gentle lapping of luminous waves against the crystal hull, a rhythm like the breathing of sleeping angels that adds another layer to the symphony of peace that fills this underground realm. Let your shoulders drop. Feel the tension melting away as you drift with them across waters that carry away all worry and fear, leaving only wonder and anticipation. The cavern around them reveals new wonders as they travel across its breadth. The walls rise in crystal formations that catch and multiply the light from the water, creating galleries of natural sculptures that would make the greatest artists weep with joy. Stalactites hang from the ceiling like frozen music, their forms so perfect and harmonious that they seem to have been shaped by the songs of angels rather than the slow work of earthly time. As they pass beneath these crystal formations, they create soft chimes that blend with the sound of water against the boat's hull. Each chime rings with a pure note that seems to contain entire symphonies, harmonies that speak of the connections between all beautiful things. The princesses listen with hearts wide open, their faces turned upward to catch every note of this mineral music that exists nowhere else in any world. The lake stretches farther than earthly waters ever could, its distant shores lost in gentle mists that glow with their own inner light. Islands dot its surface like jewels scattered by a careless god, each one unique in its beauty and promising its own forms of wonder. Some are covered with trees that bear fruit made of crystallized laughter. Others rise in spires of pure light that sing wordless songs of welcome to any who approach their shores. But the boat knows its destination and moves toward it with the certainty of a river flowing toward the sea. As they travel, the water beneath them grows deeper and more luminous, its depths revealing glimpses of underwater gardens where flowers bloom in impossible colours and fish swim in schools that form patterns of living art. Occasionally, one of these creatures breaks the surface near their boat, its form dissolving into sparkles of light that drift upwards like reverse rain before rejoining the water with tiny splashes that sound like wind chimes touched by gentle breezes. Rest in the rhythm of your breath. Feel yourself being carried forward by currents that know exactly where they need to take you. Stella trails her hand in the water as they travel, her fingers creating wakes of silver light that spread outward in patterns that speak of mathematics made beautiful. The water responds to her touch by forming spirals and curves that follow the hidden geometries underlying all creation, revealing for brief moments the blueprint of beauty itself before dissolving back into the general luminescence that surrounds them. Iris begins to sing again, her voice floating across the water like incense made audible. The melody she chooses has no words in any earthly language, but its meaning is clear to all who hear it. It speaks of trust and surrender, of the courage required to float on unknown waters toward uncertain destinations, of the faith that allows souls to release their grip on the familiar shores of the known and allow themselves to be carried toward their dreams. Her sisters join their voices to hers, creating harmonies that rise and fall with the gentle motion of the boat. Their combined song creates visible ripples on the water's surface, waves of pure music that spread outward from their crystal vessel like the rings created by stones dropped into still ponds. These musical ripples catch the light and transform it, creating brief rainbows that arc across the water before fading back into the general glow that fills this realm of perpetual wonder. The air around them fills with the scent of flowers that exist only in the realm of dreams, and the sound of distant bells that ring with notes too perfect for any earthly metal. These fragrances and sounds blend with their singing to create an atmosphere so saturated with beauty that it seems the very air has become a living thing, breathing in harmony with their gentle hearts and exhaling peace that touches every corner of the vast cavern. Imagine candlelight on polished floors, but here the water itself is like polished light, carrying them forward on currents of pure possibility. As they travel deeper into the underground lake, the shoreline begins to change. Where before the crystal walls had risen directly from the water's edge, now gentle beaches appear, their sands made of crushed pearls and powdered starlight that glows softly in the illumination from the lake. These beaches curve away into the distance, creating bays something magnificent awaits. As they draw closer, the princesses can see their goal taking shape through the gentle mists that rise from the warm water. It is an island, unlike any found in the world above, a place where dreams have taken physical form and wonder grows like wildflowers in an eternal spring. The island rises from the lake in terraces of crystal and light, its shores lined with trees that seem to be made of solid starlight. Their branches reach toward the cavern ceiling in graceful arcs, each leaf catching and holding the illumination from the water until the entire island glows like a constellation that has chosen to rest on the surface of this underground sea. Let the quiet carry you. Feel yourself approaching this destination where the princess's greatest joy awaits, where movement becomes prayer and rhythm becomes the language of the heart. As the crystal boat draws near to the island's glowing shore, the water beneath them grows shallow enough to reveal the bottom. Not sand or stone, but what appears to be a mosaic made from all the dreams that have ever been dreamed. Tiny tiles of every colour imaginable create patterns that shift and flow like living tapestries, telling wordless stories of hope and longing, of wishes granted and hearts fulfilled. The boat glides to rest against a pier that extends from the island shore, its crystal structure matching their vessel so perfectly that the two seem to merge into a single, seamless whole. The pier is lined with posts topped by lanterns that burn with flames that cast no shadows, only pure illumination that transforms everything it touches into something precious and perfect. The princesses rise from their cushions with movements that flow like water returning to water, their forms graceful as birds taking wing from calm pools. As they step from the boat onto the crystal pier, their bare feet find the surface warm and welcoming, responding to their touch with gentle pulses of light that spread outward like ripples in reverse, flowing back towards the island as if announcing the arrival of beloved guests. Behind them, the crystal boat settles into the water with a soft sigh of contentment, its purpose fulfilled for another night. The silver cushions reshape themselves into perfect arrangements, ready for the return journey that will come when the dancing is done and the night's wonders have been fully explored. But that time is still far away, existing in a future that holds no urgency in this place where every moment is perfect and complete in itself. Ahead lies the island where the truest joy awaits, where music and movement combine in ways that transform both into something infinitely more beautiful than either could be alone. The princesses link hands as they prepare to step from the pier onto the island proper, their chain of connection creating sparks of light that dance between their interlaced fingers like stars celebrating their reunion with the night sky. Feel the earth holding you. Sense how completely supported you are as the 12 princesses step onto the island where their deepest joy awaits, where dancing becomes a form of prayer and music speaks the language of the soul. The island receives them with the warmth of an old friend welcoming beloved visitors. Their bare feet find the ground soft as velvet and warm as summer sand, but with a resilience that responds to their every step with perfect support. The surface glows softly beneath their touch, creating pools of gentle light that spread outward with each footfall, as if the very earth delights in their presence and wants to celebrate their arrival. The trees that line the island shore are unlike any that grow in the world above. Their trunks appear to be crafted from crystallized starlight, translucent and luminous, with surfaces that flow and shift like liquid silver caught in eternal motion. The bark, if it can be called bark, ripples with patterns that speak of music made visible, of harmonies given form and rhythm, transformed into something that can be touched and appreciated by senses beyond hearing alone. As the princesses pass beneath these magnificent trees, the branches above them begin to sing, not with voices, but with tones that emerge from the crystalline structure itself, as if the trees have learned to transform the light that flows through them into music that requires no instruments and needs no interpretation. The melodies that drift down from the silver branches are lullabies and waltzes, minuets and songs of celebration, all blending together in a symphony that makes the air itself dance with joy. Breathe slowly. Let each breath fill you with the music that flows from these trees of crystallized starlight, feeling the rhythm enter your own heart and soul. The leaves that crown these luminous trees are crafted from what appears to be beaten silver, but silver that lives and moves with its own inner light. Each leaf catches the radiance that flows upward from the glowing ground and transforms it, creating cascades of liquid music that fall like gentle rain around the walking princesses. When the breeze that moves through this eternal grove stirs these silver leaves, they create chimes that sound like laughter made audible, like joy given a voice that speaks directly to the heart. Celeste leads her sisters deeper into this forest of wonders, following paths that seem to appear beneath their feet as they walk. The trails are made of what looks like compressed starlight, smooth and warm and welcoming, winding between the crystal trees in curves that follow the natural rhythms of music itself. Each step they take sends small pulses of light racing ahead of them, as if the path is announcing their approach to the wonders that lie deeper in the forest's heart. The air around them thrums with anticipation that has no urgency, only the gentle expectation of those who know that something beautiful approaches, and that beauty, like all good things, reveals itself in its own perfect time. The scent that fills this grove is indescribable in earthly terms. It carries hints of every flower that has ever bloomed to celebrate love, every spice that has ever marked a feast of thanksgiving, every perfume that has ever been created to honor joy itself. Luna pauses to touch one of the crystal trees, her palm pressing against the flowing surface of its luminous trunk. The tree responds to her contact by brightening, its inner light pulsing in rhythm with her heartbeat, until tree and princess seem to share the same life force. The music that flows from its branches changes key, becoming more personal and intimate, as if the tree is singing a song composed specifically for her and her alone. Let your shoulders drop. Feel the music flowing through you as it flows through the trees, becoming part of the eternal symphony that fills this realm of wonder. Aurora discovers that her warmth affects the silver leaves above, causing them to glow brighter and ring with tones that speak of summer afternoons and lazy rivers flowing through meadows filled with wildflowers, where her presence touches the crystalline air. Tiny sparks of golden light appear and dance like fireflies made of pure contentment, creating patterns that weave between the trees and add their own light to the forest's eternal glow. As they walk deeper into the grove, the trees begin to thin, opening into clearings where the ground rises in gentle hills covered with grass that seems to be woven from moonbeams and soft starlight. These clearings are perfectly circular, their edges defined by rings of crystal trees that lean inward slightly, creating natural amphitheatres where their combined music focuses and intensifies, building to crescendos that make the very air shimmer with harmony. In the centre of the largest clearing, the princesses find what they have come seeking, a dance floor made of crystal so clear and perfect it seems like a piece of sky that has chosen to rest upon the earth. Its surface reflects not just their forms, but their inner light, their joy and anticipation multiplied and returned to them amplified beyond anything the waking world could contain. The floor is perfectly round and vast enough to accommodate any form of dance or celebration. Its edges are marked by crystalline pillars that rise in graceful spirals toward the grove's canopy, each one topped with a flame that burns without consuming, casting light that enhances rather than overwhelms. The natural luminescence that fills this place rests in the rhythm of your breath. Feel yourself preparing to join the princesses in their celebration of movement and music, of joy given physical form. As the 12 sisters step onto the crystal dance floor, their bare feet find the surface warm and welcoming, with a slight give that provides perfect traction while allowing for the flowing movements that their dance requires. dancers. The crystal responds to their presence by beginning to glow more brightly, its inner light pulsing in patterns that match the rhythm of their combined heartbeats. The trees around the clearing lean closer, their branches intertwining overhead to create a canopy of silver leaves that catches and focuses the music flowing from their crystalline trunks. The result is a natural ballroom where every note is perfect and every echo enhances rather than diminishes the original melody. The air itself becomes an instrument, responding to movement and emotion with harmonies that support and celebrate the dancers who move within its embrace. Celeste takes her position at the center of the crystal floor, her sisters arranging themselves around her in a pattern that has been perfected through countless nights of practice and joy. They form concentric circles, the younger sisters in the center and the elder ones creating the outer ring, each finding her place with the natural grace of flowers turning toward the sun, or birds forming their migratory patterns. The music that fills the clearing begins to shift and focus. The random melodies from the crystal trees organizing themselves into a waltz that speaks of moonlight on water and wind through silver branches. The rhythm is slow and stately, perfect for movements that flow like liquid starlight and gestures that speak the language of dreams made manifest. Imagine candlelight on polished floors. But here the floor itself is made of crystallized light, warm and welcoming beneath their dancing feet. The princesses begin to move as if they share a single spirit, their bodies swaying to the music that flows from the crystalline trees around them. Their movements are not the quick, energetic steps of earthly dances, but something slower and more profound, each gesture flowing into the next, like water finding its course, or wind shaping itself around the objects it encounters. They dance without partners, yet they are never alone. Each princess moves in harmony with her sisters, their individual dances creating patterns that intersect and separate and intersect again, like streams that branch and converge as they flow toward the sea. Their forms cast no shadows on the crystal floor, only reflections that seem to dance with independent grace, sometimes moving ahead of their physical bodies as if leading them toward new expressions of beauty. Luna spins with arms outstretched, her hair streaming behind her like liquid moonlight caught in eternal motion. Where her feet touch the crystal floor, spirals of silver light spread outward, creating temporary mandalas that pulse and fade and are reborn with each step she takes. Her dance speaks of tides and cycles, of the eternal rhythm that governs all natural things and finds its perfect expression in movement that honors the music of the spheres. Aurora moves with flowing gestures that bring warmth wherever they pass. dancers turning their faces towards the light. Where she dances, the crystal floor blooms with brief gardens of luminous flowers that open and fade and bloom again in rhythm with her steps. Let the quiet carry you. Feel yourself moving with them in this dance that is both celebration and prayer, both performance and meditation. Stella weaves between her sisters with movements that follow the hidden mathematics underlying all beauty. Her dance creates geometric patterns that speak of the harmony between order and chaos, of the way that structure and spontaneity combine to create beauty that transcends both. The light that follows her steps forms spirals and curves that would make mathematicians weep with joy, revealing for brief moments the blueprint of creation itself. The younger sisters move with the fluid grace of water itself, their dances intertwining and separating in patterns that seem random, but follow the deeper logic of hearts that beat in harmony. Little Seraphina leaps and spins with movements so light they seem to barely touch the crystal floor. Her joy so pure and perfect that it creates its own music, harmonies that rise from her laughter and blend with the songs flowing from the silver trees. As they dance, the forest around them responds to their movements with increasing enthusiasm. The crystal trees sway in rhythm with their steps, their branches conducting an orchestra of wind and light and crystalline music. The silver leaves ring with tones that match the princess's movements, creating a symphony where gesture and sound become indistinguishable, where dance and music merge into something that transcends both. The pillars that mark the edges of the dance floor begin to pulse with colours that have no names in earthly languages, hues that speak directly to the soul without needing to part. Through the eyes, these colours flow and blend like living things, creating aurora that dance in the air above the crystal floor, adding their own beauty to the celebration that fills this grove of wonders. Float like a leaf on calm water. Let yourself drift into the rhythm of their dance, feeling each movement as a prayer of gratitude for the beauty that fills this magical realm. The waltz that guides their movements begins to evolve, becoming more complex and beautiful with each passing moment. New melodies emerge from the crystal trees, harmonies that speak of celebration and thanksgiving, of hearts filled with such joy that it must find expression through movement and music. The rhythm remains gentle and flowing, never urgent or demanding, allowing each princess to find her own perfect expression within the larger pattern of their shared dance. As they move across the crystal floor, their reflections create patterns that seem to tell wordless stories of their own. Sometimes these reflected forms dance ahead of their physical bodies, leading them towards new movements and gestures. Sometimes sometimes they lag behind, creating echoes of beauty that ripple across the crystal surface, like memories of perfect moments preserved in light and motion. The air around them grows thick with the scent of flowers that bloom only in celebration, with fragrances that carry the essence of every joyful moment that has ever existed. These scents blend and flow around the dancing princesses like invisible partners, adding another dimension to their celebration of beauty and wonder, and the pure joy of movement in harmony with music that flows from the heart of creation itself. Feel your eyes grow heavy. Let them close as you drift deeper into this realm where the 12 princesses dance among trees of living light, their movements creating patterns of beauty that exist nowhere else in any world. The waltz that fills the crystal clearing begins to shift and evolve, the melodies flowing from the silver trees transforming into something even more magical and profound. New harmonies emerge from directions previously unnoticed, as if the forest itself is expanding to accommodate the growing joy of the dancers who move within its embrace. The music speaks of journeys and discoveries, of paths that lead from wonder to even greater wonder, of the endless possibilities that await those who move through life with open hearts and graceful spirits. As the princesses continue their dance, the very air around them begins to shimmer with anticipation. The crystal floor beneath their feet pulses with increasing warmth and light, as if responding to the energy of their movements by becoming more alive and responsive. Each step creates ripples of luminescence that spread outward like stones dropped in pools of liquid starlight, and these ripples begin to point in a specific direction, as if the floor itself is gently suggesting a new destination for their celebration. Celeste, ever attuned to the subtle communications of this magical realm, notices the patterns created by their dancing feet. She sees how the light flows consistently toward one edge of the clearing, where the ring of crystal trees parts to reveal a path that glows with invitation. Without breaking the rhythm of her dance, she begins to lead her sisters in that direction, their movements becoming a flowing procession that transforms seamlessly from stationary celebration to mobile wonder. The path that opens before them is wider than those they have travelled before, lined not with the silver trees of the grove they are leaving, but with something even more magnificent. These new trees appear to be crafted from crystallized sunlight, their trunks golden and warm, radiating the gentle heat of summer afternoons and the welcoming glow of hearth fires on winter evenings. Their branches reach overhead in graceful arcs that create a tunnel of golden light, a passage that seems to lead directly toward the heart of all beautiful things. Breathe slowly. Let each breath fill you with the warmth that flows from these golden trees, feeling their light enter your heart heart and soul like liquid sunshine. The golden trees sing with voices different from their silver cousins, deeper and richer with harmonies that speak of harvest celebrations and Thanksgiving feasts, of the satisfaction that comes from work well done and love freely given. Their music blends with the continuing melodies from the silver grove behind them, creating a symphony that seems to encompass all the music that has ever been composed in celebration of joy and beauty. As the princesses dance along this golden path, their movements adapt to the new music, becoming more flowing and expansive. Where the silver grove had inspired movements that spoke of moonlight and mystery, these golden trees call forth gestures that celebrate warmth and growth, abundance, and the generous sharing of gifts. Their dances become offerings, each movement a gesture of gratitude for the beauty that surrounds them and the wonder that fills their lives. Lunar silver light blends beautifully with the golden radiance that flows from the trees around them, creating patterns of warmth and coolness that speak of the perfect balance between all complementary forces. Her dance weaves between the flowing movements of her sisters, creating connections and separations that mirror the eternal dance of celestial bodies moving through space in harmony that transcends understanding. Aurora finds herself perfectly at home among these golden trees, her natural warmth resonating with their solar energy to create cascades of light that flow like liquid joy through the tunnel of crystalline branches. Her movements become more confident and expansive, each gesture creating waves of golden luminescence that ripple outward to touch her sisters and return transformed, carrying with them the essence of shared happiness and mutual celebration. Let your shoulders drop. Feel the golden light flowing through you, warming every cell and filling you with the contentment that comes from being exactly where you belong. The path through the golden grove curves gently upward, following the natural contours of the islands. Terrain as it rises towards some unseen destination. The trees that line this pathway grow taller and more magnificent with each step, their golden trunks expanding in diameter until they seem less like individual plants and more like pillars, supporting a temple dedicated to the worship of light itself. Their branches interweave overhead, creating a canopy so thick and luminous that no darkness can penetrate its golden embrace. As they dance along this ascending path, the princesses begin to notice that the music around them is changing once again, becoming lighter and more crystalline, as if the golden harmonies are beginning to blend with something even purer and more refined. The air fills with sounds like wind chimes made of the finest crystal, with tones that speak of clarity and perfection, of beauty so pure it seems to exist beyond the reach awaits them, but this one surpasses even the wonders they have already encountered. These trees appear to be crafted from crystallized starlight itself, so clear and brilliant that they seem to be made of captured diamonds, each one burning within a fire that transforms the very air around them into something precious and rare. The transition from golden grove to diamond forest happens gradually, the golden trees giving way to ones whose crystalline trunks catch and multiply the light from every direction, creating a symphony of brilliance that would be overwhelming if it were not tempered by the gentle warmth that still flows from the path beneath their feet and the lingering music that connects this new wonder to all the beauties they have experienced before. Rest in the rhythm of your breath. Feel yourself entering this grove of diamond trees where light itself has learned to sing and brilliance has become a living thing. The diamond trees rise around them like frozen lightning, their crystalline surfaces catching and refracting the light from every source until the very air seems to sparkle with captured rainbows. But despite their brilliant clarity, these trees radiate no harshness or glare. Instead, their light is soft and welcoming, like starlight concentrated and given form, creating an environment where every surface glows with gentle radiance and every shadow becomes impossible. The music that flows from these diamond trees is unlike anything the princesses have heard before. It consists of pure tones of such clarity and perfection that they seem to bypass the ears entirely and speak directly to the soul. Each tree rings with its own unique note, and together they create harmonies that reveal the mathematical perfection underlying all beautiful things. The music speaks of precision and clarity, of the way that perfect understanding can create beauty that transcends any earthly experience. The princess's movements adapt once again to this new environment, their dances becoming more precise and defined while maintaining the flowing grace that marks all their expressions. In the diamond grove, every gesture becomes crystalline in its clarity, each movement so perfectly executed that it seems to exist outside of time, preserved forever in the moment of its creation, like insects trapped in amber that has learned to glow with its own inner light. Celeste spins with movements so precise they seem to carve patterns in the crystalline air itself, her form creating spirals of light that hang visible for long moments before fading back into the general brilliance that fills this grove. Her dance speaks of leadership and responsibility, of the way that clarity of purpose can create beauty that guides and inspires others to find their own perfect expressions. Imagine candlelight on polished floors, but here the trees themselves are like enormous candles made of crystallized light, their flames bright but never consuming. Stella moves with geometric precision that would make mathematicians patterns that reveal the hidden structures underlying all creation. In the Diamond Grove, her natural affinity for the mathematics of beauty finds its perfect expression, her dance creating visible equations that solve themselves in cascades of crystalline light, revealing truths about the nature of harmony and proportion that exist beyond the reach of any academic understanding. The younger princesses move with increasing confidence among these diamond trees, their natural grace enhanced by the clarity that fills this grove. Little Seraphina leaps and spins with movements so light and precise they seem to barely disturb the crystalline air, her joy creating patterns of light that dance between the trees like living things, celebrating their own existence. As they dance deeper into the Diamond Grove, the trees around them begin to respond to their movements with increasing enthusiasm. The crystalline branches sway in rhythm with their steps, creating visual music that complements the perfect tones flowing from their diamond hearts. The air fills with sparkles that seem to be shed from the trees themselves, tiny fragments of crystallized light that drift downward like snow that has learned to glow with its own inner fire. The path beneath their feet begins to change as well, transforming from the warm golden light of the previous grove to something that seems to be made of compressed diamonds, brilliant and clear, but never cold or uncomfortable. Each step they take sends cascades of rainbow light racing outward from the points of contact, creating temporary aurora that dance around their moving forms, like visible celebrations of their grace and beauty. Let the quiet carry you. Feel yourself moving with them through this grove where clarity and precision create their own forms of wonder, where every movement becomes a prayer offered to the mathematics of beauty itself. As they dance through the Diamond Grove, the princesses begin to sense that they are approaching something special, a destination that will complete their night's journey through these realms of wonder. The music around them builds in complexity and beauty, the perfect tones from the diamond trees blending with lingering harmonies from the golden and silver groves they have passed through, creating a symphony that encompasses all the music they have encountered and transforms it into something even more magnificent. The trees begin to thin once again, and through their crystalline trunks, the princesses catch glimpses of what lies ahead. A clearing opens before them, larger than any they have seen, its crystal floor rising in gentle terraces that catch and multiply the light from all three groves they have travelled through. This is their destination, the place where their celebration will reach its climax before beginning the gentle journey back toward the waking world and the beds that wait for them in best is yet to come, and that beauty, like all good things, reveals its greatest treasures to those who approach it with patience and reverence. The princesses link hands as they prepare to enter this final clearing, their connection creating sparks of light that contain elements of silver and gold and diamond brilliance, a perfect blend of all the wonders they have encountered on their journey through these groves of living light. Float like a leaf on calm water. Let yourself drift into this final clearing where the 12 princesses prepare to complete their celebration before beginning the gentle journey that will carry them back to the world of towers and beds and peaceful sleep. The clearing that opens before them surpasses all the wonders they have encountered. A vast circular space where the light from the silver, golden and diamond groves converges to create something that exists beyond the possibility of any earthly experience. The crystal floor rises in gentle terraces that seem to float unsupported in the luminous air, each level perfectly positioned to catch and reflect the combined radiance that flows from the 3 magical forests surrounding this sacred space. The air itself seems alive with music, not just the melodies flowing from the crystalline trees, but something deeper and more fundamental, the harmony that underlies all creation, the song that planets sing as they dance through space in their eternal ballet. This music has no beginning and needs no end, flowing through the clearing like a river of pure sound that nourishes the soul as surely as water nourishes growing things. As the princesses step onto the terraced crystal floor, their bare feet find each level warm and welcoming, with surfaces that respond to their touch by creating ripples of mixed light, silver and gold and diamond brilliance blending into patterns that speak of completion and fulfillment, of journeys that have reached their perfect destinations. The floor seems to recognize their approach and celebrate it, each step creating mandalas of colour and light that expand outward before fading back into the general luminescence that fills this space. The trees from all 3 groves lean inward around the clearing's edges, their branches intertwining to create a natural amphitheatre where every note is perfect and every echo enhances rather than diminishes the original melody. The silver trees contribute their moonlit whispers. The golden trees add their solar warmth, and the diamond trees provide their crystalline clarity, all blending together in a symphony that makes the very air dance with harmony. Feel the earth holding you. Sense how completely supported you are in this place, where all the elements of beauty converge to create something that transcends the sum of its parts. Celeste leads her sisters to the center of the terraced floor, where the convergence of light from all directions creates a space of such perfect illumination shadows become impossible, and every detail is revealed in gentle clarity. Here, in this heart of hearts, the 12 princesses form their final circle, each finding her place with the natural grace of flowers, arranging themselves to create the most beautiful garden possible. They stand for a moment in perfect stillness, their hands linked in a chain of connection that creates sparks of light flowing like liquid starlight from sister to sister. The silence that surrounds them is not empty, but full, pregnant with all the music that has brought them to this moment, and all the wonder that their presence creates simply by existing in this place where magic and peace coexist in perfect harmony. Then, as if guided by a signal that exists beyond the realm of earthly senses, they begin to move. But this is not the flowing individual dances of the groves they have passed through. This is something new and different, a dance that can only be performed by 12 hearts that beat in perfect unison, 12 souls that have learned to move as one while maintaining their individual beauty and grace. They dance in formation, their movements creating patterns that shift and flow like living mandalas drawn in light and motion. Sometimes they move in concentric circles, the younger sisters forming the inner ring, while the elder ones create the outer boundary. Sometimes they weave between each other in figure 8 patterns that speak of infinity and eternal return. Always, their movements flow together like streams converging into a river that grows more beautiful and powerful with each contribution it receives. Breathe slowly. Let each breath carry you deeper into this dance that is both celebration and prayer, both performance and meditation on the nature of harmony itself. Luna moves with gestures that paint silver light across the crystal floor, her dance creating pathways for her sisters to follow, and patterns that connect all their individual movements into a larger whole. Her role in this final celebration is that of the moon itself, to provide gentle illumination that allows other lights to shine more brightly, to create the peaceful backdrop against which all other beauties can be fully appreciated. Aurora brings warmth that transforms the silver pathways into streams of liquid gold, her movements adding depth and richness to the patterns her sisters create. Where Luna provides the foundation, Aurora builds the structures of joy and celebration, her dance speaking of growth and renewal, of the way that love shared multiplies rather than diminishes, becoming stronger and more beautiful with each heart it touches. Stella weaves between them with movements that follow the hidden mathematics of perfect proportion, her dance revealing the underlying structure that allows such diverse beauties to exist in harmony. Her gestures create geometric patterns that contain and organize the flowing movements of her sisters, providing the framework within which their individual expressions can find their most perfect forms. The younger sisters move with the fluid grace of water itself, their dances filling the spaces between their elder sisters' more defined patterns with flowing beauty that speaks of spontaneity and joy. They leap and spin with movements so light they seem to barely touch the crystal floor, their laughter creating its own music that blends with the symphonies flowing from the surrounding groves. Let your shoulders drop. Feel the music and movement flowing through you as you become part of this celebration that honors all forms of beauty and connection. As they dance, the clearing around them responds with increasing enthusiasm. The crystal floor beneath their feet begins to pulse with colors that follow the rhythm of their movements, creating aurora that rise from the ground to dance in the air above their heads. The terraced levels seem to breathe with their own life, expanding and contracting in rhythm with the collective heartbeat of the 12 dancing sisters. The trees surrounding the clearing sway in harmony with their movements, their branches conducting an orchestra of wind and light and crystalline music that grows more complex and beautiful with each passing moment. The silver leaves ring with tones that match the princess's steps. The golden branches add their solar harmonies, and the diamond trees contribute their pure, perfect notes, all blending together in a symphony where dance and music become indistinguishable. The air above them fills with creatures of living light, butterflies made of crystallized laughter, birds that sing with voices of pure joy, flowers that bloom and fade and bloom again in rhythm with the dancing below. These beings exist only in this moment, created by the beauty of the princess's celebration and sustained by the pure love that flows between their connected hearts. But even in this moment of perfect celebration, the princesses remain aware that their night of wonder must eventually draw to a close. The dance that fills the clearing, magnificent as it is, carries within it the seeds of its own completion. Like all beautiful things, it exists most perfectly when it knows its own boundaries, when it understands that endings can be as graceful and meaningful as beginnings. Rest in the rhythm of your breath. Feel yourself moving with them toward the moment when celebration transforms into the gentle peace of satisfaction and completion. As the music from the surrounding groves begins to shift toward its final movements, the princess's dance evolves to match its changing character. Their movements become slower and more flowing, like rivers approaching the sea, or flowers closing their petals as evening approaches. The patterns they create grow simpler but more profound, speaking not of excitement and energy, but of contentment and the deep satisfaction that comes from having given their very best to something beautiful and meaningful from their movements begin to converge toward the center of the clearing, creating a spiral of combined radiance that rises like a pillar of crystallized joy toward the star-filled ceiling far above. This column of light pulses with the rhythm of their 12 hearts beating in unison, a beacon that speaks of unity achieved without the loss of individuality, of harmony that celebrates rather than suppresses the unique gifts each sister brings to their shared celebration. As the dance reaches its climax, the princesses form a final circle, their hands once again linked in the chain of connection that has guided them through all their adventures in this realm of wonder. They stand motionless for a moment that seems to last forever, their forms silhouetted against the pillar of light they have created, their faces glowing with the satisfaction of those who have given their very best to something beautiful and know that their offering has been accepted and treasured. Then, as gently as it began, the music starts to fade, not disappearing, but transforming into something softer and more peaceful, the kind of melody that speaks of journeys completed and the contentment that comes from time well spent in the service of beauty and joy. The pillar of light begins to settle back towards the crystal floor, spreading outward in gentle waves that touch every corner of the clearing before fading into the general luminescence that fills this magical realm. Imagine candlelight on polished floors, but now the light is settling into the peaceful glow that comes after celebration, warm and welcoming, but no longer dancing with excitement. The princesses release their linked hands and begin to move apart, their individual forms becoming distinct once again as they prepare for the journey that will carry them back through the groves of wonder and across the luminous lake to the castle where their beds wait in the tower high above. But they do not leave immediately. Instead, they take time to stand quietly in the clearing that has been the stage for their greatest joy, absorbing the peace that follows perfect celebration and allowing their hearts to store up the memory of this beauty that will sustain them through all the days to come. Each sister finds her own way of saying farewell to this sacred space. Some touch the crystal floor with reverent fingers, feeling the warmth that still pulses through its transparent depths. Others raise their faces toward the star-filled ceiling, breathing in the fragrant air that carries the essence of all the flowers that bloom only in celebration. All of them carry within their hearts the music that has guided their celebration, melodies that will continue to play in the depths of their souls long after the physical sounds have faded into memory. The journey back begins as gently as everything else in this realm of wonder. The princesses retrace their steps through the diamond grove, where the crystalline trees still ring with perfect tones, but now speak of completion rather than anticipation. The music that flows from their transparent hearts has become a lullaby, soothing and peaceful, designed to ease the transition from the heights of celebration to the gentle contentment that prepares the soul for rest. Let the quiet carry you. Feel yourself moving with them back through the groves, where every tree has become a guardian of peaceful dreams, and every note speaks of the satisfaction that comes from beauty shared and joy multiplied through generous hearts. Feel your eyes grow heavy. Let them close completely now as we follow the 12 princesses on their gentle journey back through realms of diminishing light toward the beds that wait for them in the tower, where morning will find them resting in perfect peace. The diamond grove receives them like old friends returning from a successful celebration, the crystalline trees swaying in gentle welcome, while their perfect tones create a lullaby that speaks of completion and the deep satisfaction that comes from time, well spent in the service of beauty. The air here has grown softer and more peaceful, filled with the kind of contentment that settles over gardens after the last guests have departed, and the flowers can rest in the knowledge that they have been fully appreciated and loved. The princesses move through this crystalline forest with steps that flow like water returning to the sea, their bare feet finding the diamond bright path, warm and welcoming beneath them. Their movements have slowed to match the peaceful rhythm of hearts that are full and content, no longer seeking excitement or stimulation, but ready to embrace the gentle transition toward rest and dreams. Luna trails her fingers along the crystal bark of the diamond trees as she passes, each touch creating soft chimes that blend with the ambient music to create harmonies that speak of gratitude and gentle farewell. The trees respond to her caresses by glowing more softly, their brilliant light dimming to a warm radiance that soothes rather than stimulates, preparing all who walk beneath their branches for the peaceful sleep that awaits at the end of this magical night. Aurora brings warmth that transforms the crystalline atmosphere around them, softening the perfect clarity of the diamond grove with hints of the golden light they encountered earlier in their journey. Her presence creates gentle transitions between the various magical realms they are leaving behind, ensuring that the shift from wonder to rest happens gradually and without jarring contrasts that might disturb the peace they have earned through their celebration. Breathe slowly. Let each breath carry you deeper into the drowsy contentment that settles over everything as the night of wonder draws toward its gentle close. The golden grove welcomes them back with branches that droop slightly under the weight of leaves made heavy with contentment. The warm light that flows from these solar trees has taken on the quality of late afternoon sunshine, filtering through honey, thick and golden songs that speak directly to the part of the soul that knows how to rest. Stella pauses to embrace one of the golden trees, her arms encircling its warm trunk while she listens to the music that flows from its crystalline heart. The tree responds to her affection by brightening slightly, its golden light pulsing in rhythm with her breathing, until tree and princess seem to share the same peaceful life force. When she finally releases her hold and continues on her way, the tree continues to glow with the warmth of her touch, a gift of appreciation that will burn gently until the next night brings its own celebration. The younger sisters move with increasing drowsiness, their earlier energy transformed into the peaceful lethargy that comes after perfect satisfaction. Little Seraphina walks with eyes that blink more slowly with each step, her small hands trailing along the golden branches that hang low enough for her to reach. Her touch creates cascades of warm light that flow like liquid honey through the grove, adding their own sweetness to the lullaby atmosphere that grows stronger with each step they take toward home. The path beneath their feet has taken on the character of a gentle slope, leading them gradually downward through the golden grove toward the silver forest that waits beyond. This descent happens so gradually that it feels more like floating than walking, as if they are being carried by currents of warm air that know exactly where they need to go and are determined to take them there with the utmost care and consideration. Let your shoulders drop. Feel the golden warmth flowing through you, melting away any remaining tension and preparing your body for the deep rest that approaches. The silver grove receives them with the gentle radiance of moonlight on calm water, its crystalline trees swaying in a breeze that seems to whisper lullabies in languages older than words. The music that flows from these luminous branches has become purely peaceful, consisting of soft tones that blend and flow like streams converging into a river that runs toward the sea of sleep. The silver leaves ring with sounds like distant wind chimes touched by the softest breeze, creating melodies that speak of rest and restoration, of the way that sleep allows the soul to process all the beauty it has encountered and transform it into dreams that will nourish the spirit through all the days to come. Each note that falls from these silver branches carries with it the essence of peace, settling into the air around the walking princesses like invisible snow that never grows cold. Celeste leads her sisters through this moonlit forest with steps that grow shorter and slower with each passing moment, her body responding to the lullaby atmosphere by preparing itself for the rest that waits at the end of their journey. Her movements have taken on the fluid quality of someone walking through a dream, each gesture flowing into the next with the natural grace of water finding its level, or stars settling into their appointed places in the night sky. The other princesses follow in her wake, their individual forms beginning to blend slightly in the silver light that grows softer and more diffuse with each step they take. They seem to be dissolving gently into the peaceful atmosphere that surrounds them, becoming part of the lullaby themselves rather than simply moving through it. Their breathing synchronizes with the rhythm of the music flowing from the silver. Trees creating a harmony between heartbeat and melody that speaks of perfect attunement to the natural rhythms that govern all restful things. Rest in the rhythm of your breath. Feel yourself becoming part of this gentle procession toward rest. Your own breathing matching the peaceful cadence that carries them towards home. The silver grove begins to thin as they approach its edge, the crystalline trees giving way to this familiar stone corridor that will carry them back to the castle proper. But the transition from magical forest to earthly passage happens so gradually that it feels more like emergence from a dream than departure from a physical place. The silver light fades slowly into the golden radiance of the lanterns that line the corridor walls, creating a gentle bridge between the realm of wonder and the world of towers and beds and peaceful sleep. The corridor receives them with the warmth of coming home, its familiar stone walls radiating the accumulated comfort of countless gentle passages. The lanterns that burn along its length have dimmed slightly since their earlier journey, their flames settling into the steady glow that speaks of vigils kept through peaceful nights and the promise of dawn that will come in its own perfect time. The mosaics that decorate the curved ceiling have taken on a drowsy quality, their depicted scenes moving more slowly as if the figures within them are also preparing for rest. The stone butterflies flutter their wings with languid grace. The pearl flowers close their petals slightly, preparing for the night's end. Even the golden horses in their eternal fields seem to run with less urgency, their hooves making no sound as they continue their endless circuit through landscapes made of coloured stone and precious gems. The princess's footsteps create a rhythm like gentle rain on still water, each step blending with the next to form a percussion that speaks of journeys completed and destinations reached. Their bare feet find the familiar smoothness of the stone floor, welcoming and supportive, worn by countless gentle passages into a surface that seems designed specifically for those who walk between the worlds of waking and sleeping. Imagine candlelight on polished floors, but now the light has settled into the gentle glow that comes at the end of perfect days, warm and welcoming, but no longer dancing with excitement. As they make their way through the curving corridor, the air around them grows thick with the scent of night blooming flowers that announce the approach of dawn. These meaningful as any beginning when they come at the proper time and in the proper way. The tapestry that guards the entrance to their tower chamber hangs exactly as they left it. Its woven moonlit forest swaying slightly in the warm air that circulates through the castle's ancient halls. But now the painted trees seem drowsy, their silver branches drooping, as if weighted with the same contentment that fills the hearts of the princesses who approach their sanctuary. Celeste places her palm against the centre of the tapestry's woven path, feeling for the warmth that will signal its willingness to part and allow them passage back into the world of beds and pillows and dreams. The fabric responds immediately to her touch, but slowly and gently, opening like a flower that knows it has all the time in the world to reveal its treasures. The chamber beyond welcomes them with the familiar comfort of home, its circular walls embracing them like the arms of a loving parent who has waited patiently for beloved children to return from their adventures. The 12 beds arranged around the room seem to breathe with life, their covers stirring slightly as if awakening to welcome familiar forms back to their proper places. Let the quiet carry you. Feel yourself entering this sanctuary where rest is sacred and dreams are gentle guardians watching over peaceful sleep. The fountain at the centre of the chamber still streams its gentle light, but the flow has slowed to match the drowsy atmosphere that fills the space. The liquid starlight that moves through its carved basin creates patterns that speak of completion and the deep satisfaction that comes from having given one's very best to something beautiful and meaningful. The flowers arranged around its base have closed their petals slightly, preparing for the night's end while releasing fragrances that speak of rest and restoration. The princesses move to their respective beds with the natural grace of birds returning to familiar nests, each finding her place in the circle of comfort that surrounds the chamber's heart. Their movements have become so fluid and peaceful that they seem to flow rather than walk, like water finding its way downhill, or starlight settling into its appointed place in the night sky. As they prepare for sleep, their actions take on the quality of sacred ritual performed with infinite care and reverence. Night dresses are changed with movements that create brief patterns of light and shadow. Hair is brushed with silver combs that sing soft melodies when drawn through silken strands. Each gesture flows into the next with the natural rhythm of those who have found perfect peace and are ready to surrender themselves to the restoration that sleep provides. The youngest princesses settle into their beds first. Little Seraphina, curling beneath covers that seem to embrace her with the tenderness of clouds made solid, her eyes heavy with the contentment that comes after perfect celebration, close gradually as she listens to the gentle sounds of her sisters prepare place in the circle of rest that surrounds the chamber's luminous heart. The covers that embrace them seem to be woven from captured starlight and morning mist, soft beyond any earthly experience, yet substantial enough to provide perfect comfort and warmth. Each bed adjusts itself to its occupant, the mattresses and pillows conforming to familiar forms, with the care of old friends who know exactly what is needed for perfect rest. Celeste is the last to settle, her role as eldest including the responsibility to ensure that all her sisters are comfortable and safe before she allows herself to seek her own rest. She moves around the chamber like a gentle guardian, adjusting covers and smoothing pillows, whispering words of love and comfort that settle into the air like invisible blessings that will watch over peaceful dreams. As she finally settles into her own bed, the chamber's illumination begins to dim gradually, the fountain's light fading to a barely perceptible glow that provides just enough radiance to keep shadows from growing threatening or unfamiliar. The candles that burn in their crystal holders flicker once and then settle into steady flames that cast no harsh light, only the gentle radiance that speaks of vigils kept through peaceful nights. The air grows thick with the contentment that fills 12 hearts beating in harmony, 12 souls that have shared perfect beauty and are now ready to process that wonder through dreams that will nourish their spirits through all the days to come. The chamber breathes around them, its walls expanding and contracting with the slow rhythm of enormous lungs that know the secret of perfect rest. Feel the earth holding you. Sense how completely supported you are in this place where rest is sacred and dreams are gentle guardians watching over peaceful sleep. The sounds that fill the chamber become increasingly soft and peaceful, the gentle rustle of covers being arranged for comfort, the whispered words of affection exchanged between sisters, the distant sound of wind through the ivy that grows around their tower windows. All these sounds blend together to create a lullaby that has no words, but speaks directly to the part of the soul that knows how to rest. The stars visible through the tall windows pulse with gentle light that seems to match the rhythm of sleeping hearts, their radiance flowing into the chamber like liquid blessings that settle over the beds, like invisible blankets woven from starlight and peace. The moon, when it appears at the edge of one window, watches over the chamber with the tender attention of a loving parent, checking on children who have earned their rest through lives lived with grace and generosity. As sleep begins to claim the first of the princesses, their breathing settles into the deep, regular rhythm that speaks of perfect peace and complete surrender to rest. Their faces, illuminated by the gentle glow from the fountain and the starlight flowing through their windows, carry expressions of such contentment that they seem to glow with their own inner light, the radiance of souls that have touched perfect beauty, and know that such experiences become part of them forever. One by one, the sounds of waking life fade from the chamber, the last whispered words of sisterly affection, the final rustling of covers being adjusted for comfort, the gentle sighs that speak of tension released and peace embraced. The silence that settles over the chamber is not empty, but full, pregnant with the dreams that will soon bloom in 12 resting minds, and the peace that will restore their spirits through the gentle hours of sleep. Breathe slowly. Let each breath carry you deeper into the same peaceful rest that claims the princesses, feeling your own body surrendering to the restoration that sleep provides. The chamber settles into its own rhythm of rest, the fountain's gentle flow providing a constant whisper of peace that will continue through all the hours of sleep. The crystalline light that streams from its basin moves in patterns that speak of dreams and rest, of the way that sleep allows the soul to process all the beauty it has encountered and transform it into wisdom that will illuminate all the days to come. The beds that hold the sleeping princesses seem to breathe with their own life, adjusting constantly to provide perfect comfort and support. The covers rise and fall with the rhythm of peaceful breathing, creating gentle waves that speak of complete contentment and the deep satisfaction that comes from lives lived with purpose and joy. The stars continue their eternal dance outside the chamber windows, their light growing softer and more distant as the night deepens toward dawn. But dawn is still far away, existing in a future that holds no urgency in this place, where time moves like honey through silver spoons, and every moment is perfect and complete in itself. The castle around them settles into its own peaceful rhythm, walls cooling from the day's warmth, stones sighing contentedly as they release the stored sunshine of afternoon hours. The very building seems to breathe with the rhythm of sleeping hearts, creating an environment where rest becomes not just possible but inevitable, where peace flows like water finding its natural course. Rest in the rhythm of your breath. Feel yourself sinking deeper into the same profound peace that embraces the sleeping princesses, letting go of all need to remain awake or alert. The dreams that begin to bloom in 12 resting minds are gentle and beautiful, filled with echoes of the night's celebration and promise of wonders yet to come. These dreams speak of silver trees and golden groves, of crystal boats on luminous lakes, and dances performed under star-filled skies. They carry the essence of all the beauty the princesses have encountered, transforming it into visions that will nourish their souls through all the days ahead. The fountain's gentle flow becomes the soundtrack for these peaceful dreams, It's liquid, light creating patterns that mirror the images flowing through 12 sleeping minds. The chamber fills with the invisible presence of guardian spirits, drawn by such perfect peace, protective forces that watch over the sleeping princesses with the tenderness of angels assigned to guard the dreams of those who have touched the face of wonder and return to share its beauty with the world. The candles in their crystal holders burn lower, their flames settling into the steady glow that will continue through all the hours of sleep. Their light creates no harsh shadows, only gentle illumination that transforms everything it touches into something precious and peaceful, ensuring that no sudden darkness will disturb the perfect rest that has claimed this sacred space. The air grows thick with the fragrance of flowers that bloom only in the presence of perfect peace. Night blooming cereus and moonflowers that release their perfume into chambers where rest is sacred and dreams are cherished as gifts from the deepest parts of the soul. These fragrances blend with the warmth that flows from 12 resting hearts, creating an atmosphere so saturated with contentment that it seems to pulse with its own gentle life. Let the quiet carry you. Feel yourself joining the princesses in their peaceful rest, surrendering completely to the gentle embrace of sleep and dreams. And so, the 12 princesses rest in their tower chamber, surrounded by all the beauty they have gathered through their night of wonder, and protected by the love that flows between hearts that beat in harmony even in sleep. Their dreams carry them through landscapes of silver and gold and diamond light, where music flows like water and dancing is prayer, and every moment holds the promise of joy yet to be discovered. The castle sleeps around them, its ancient stones holding the warmth of the day and the peace of the night in perfect balance. The stars continue their eternal dance, their light flowing through the windows to bless the sleeping forms with radiance that speaks of infinite love and endless possibility. In this place where magic and peace exist in perfect harmony, where beauty is not just appreciated, but lived and breathed and danced into existence. 12 gentle souls rest in the knowledge that they have touched something perfect and been touched by it in return. Their sleep is profound and peaceful, filled with dreams that will sustain them through all the days to come, and the promise that wonder, once discovered, becomes part of the soul forever. Sleep now, dear listener, and let your own dreams carry you to realms where dancing is prayer and music speaks the language of the soul, where every heart beats in harmony with the rhythm of eternal peace, and every breath draws in the essence of perfect rest.